Hi everybody, this is Dr. Hamid with your College Mathematics Math 120 class. Today we are starting chapter 8 and which is about personal finances, and we are starting at section 8.1, which is about percents. Okay, now the objectives in this section, in section 8.1, are the following. We will start by introducing the concept of percentage. Okay, we will look at how to calculate, how to express percents in different forms. We'll express percent as a fraction or fraction as a percent. We'll express decimal as a percent or percent as a decimal. Okay, so all these are different forms of percentages which appear around us. So we'll look at it, how to go from one form to another form, and how how to interpret decimals into percentages and percentages into decimals. We will also look at applied problems, applications of percentages in sales tax, income tax, and discounts and sales prices, etc. Okay. Third thing we'll do here is we will look at to how to find percent increase and percent decrease, and eventually we'll look at some misuses of percentages where people confuse percentages with times and etc. So before we go into the calculations of percentages and details, let me go over a few concepts and phrases which will come across. For example, the first one is the sales price. Okay, it is the amount of the customer pays for a given item. Okay. Second thing is the discount. It is the discount, what it is the amount of money which customer saves on a purchase. Then we have a sales tax. Okay, this is the tax we pay to the government. Okay, and it is always added after the discount is calculated. Okay, so original price, then we'll calculate the discount, and on that we'll apply the sales tax. Now here comes the point of interest here. Now sales tax and discounts, they are always advertised and applied in terms of percentages. That's what these three things come into our interest. Okay. Let's start with the basics of percentage. Percents basically, okay, are the result of expressing something, especially numbers, as a part of 100. Okay, so the word percent means per 100. You can break it up while saying it per cent. Okay, so it means per 100. We express percentages in the following different ways here: fractions, decimals, or percent as a percent sign here as well. Okay, so as I said earlier, we can go from one form to another, or going back. So we'll look in the next few slides how to express fraction into a percent, or percent into a fraction, or decimal as a fraction. Okay, decimal as a percent, or a percent as decimal. So let's start with how to express a given fraction as a percent. Okay, so to express a given fraction as a percent, we will follow these three steps. What are those? First of all, divide the numerator by the denominator. Second thing is multiply the quotient by 100. Okay, and third thing is just put a percent sign next to it. That's it. That will convert your fraction into a percent. Let's look at example. Suppose you want to express 5 over 8 as a percent. First step is divide the numerator, which is 5, by 8. Okay, you can use it using a calculator. So when you divide 5 by 8, you get 0.625. What is the next step? Next step is multiply the quotient or the result, whatever the result you get, by 100. When you multiply this by 100, you will get 62.5. Now we are almost done. What we need to do is add the percentage sign with it. That's it. Okay, so the answer comes out to be 62.5%. That's it. We're done. Okay, so that's how we will convert a given fraction into a percent. Now next thing is, let's look at how to go from a decimals to a percent. So we will write a decimal number as a percent. Okay, so to express a decimal as a percent, we will first of all move the decimal point wherever it is 2 places to the right. Okay, and then we will just attach a percentage sign with next to it. So let's look at example here again. Suppose you want to express 0.47 as a percent. So decimal is right here. First we need to move it 2 places to the right. Okay, so we'll get 47.0, basically 0 we don't write. And the next thing we need to do is attach a percent sign with it. Okay, so we moved the decimal to the right and then just put a percentage sign. That's your answer, 47%. Now let's go backwards. Suppose a percent is given to you and we want to write it as a decimal number. Okay, so to express a percent as a decimal number, first of all, we are going backwards now. We will move the decimal point 2 places to the left. Remember, in the last slide we moved it to the right. Here we'll move to decimal point 2 places to the left and then remove a percent sign. Remember that we are going from percent to a decimal. So it will become clear with the example here. Suppose you want to express 19% as a decimal. Okay, so what do we do? Where is the decimal here? Decimal here is, 19 means 19.0. So decimal is right here. We want to move it to the left 2 places. So it will go 1, 2 right there. Okay, so this is your 0.19. Now next thing is remove the decimal, remove the percentage sign, and you get what you want. Okay, so this is your final answer. So 19% means 0.19 in decimals. Similarly, no need, but just look at it. Another example, suppose you want to express 180 as a decimal. Okay, so move the decimal to the, where is the decimal? Decimal is after this one here. Okay, so move the decimal 2 places to the left. So it was here and then you go 2 places, so it will be 1.80. Okay, and then you just remove the percent sign, and 180% means 1.80 in decimal language. Okay. Okay, now let's move on to how to calculate percentage, sales tax and discounts, etc., etc. Okay, sales tax is always in percentages, discounts are always given in percentages, so it all boils down to how to calculate the percentages. So the only one and the major formula here is this one here. Okay, so all the applications involving percents are based on this formula. Formula is A equals to P times B. Okay, so if you here it is translated, A amount is equal to the P percent of B. Okay, the of is here multiplication. Okay, so know that the of here, it implies multiplication of B, multiplication. Okay, so P multiplication with B here. We will see how this formula applies. Okay, I have a couple of slides coming up. And sales tax here, sales tax is collected by Uncle Sam, states, counties, cities, and the formula for that one is basically this same thing again. The sales tax amount is percent, which is the tax rate, whatever the rate is there. Okay, and then the amount, the cost of the item you purchase. Okay, if you purchase a car for 30,000, whatever the tax here is, for example it is 5%, so you will multiply 0.05 with the amount you pay, the price, and whatever it comes out to be, that will be your amount of the sales tax. And always keep in mind, when you calculate the anything using this formula, the tax rate has to be in decimals. Okay, if it is given in percentages, don't do that. Convert it into decimals and then use this formula. Okay, which is basically the same thing here. Tax amount is equal to percent times the price of the item you are buying. Okay, let's look at an example on percent and sale tax. We will see how practically it's being done here. Suppose that the local tax rate is 7.5%. Okay, and you purchase a laptop for $894. Here are the questions. How much tax is you are going to pay? Okay, the tax amount. And then the second thing is, what is the total cost you will pay? Okay, so this is the amount they have listed. Okay, so this laptop is for $894. So you will also not only pay this one, you will also pay 7.5% of this as well. Okay, that will be the tax. So let's calculate it. First, let's calculate the tax. Tax will be, sales tax will be tax rate, which is 7.5%. Okay, and times the cost of the laptop. Okay, since I told you earlier the tax rate has to be in decimals. Okay, so you have to convert it into decimals. So how will you convert it into decimals? You will move the decimal to the two places to the left. Okay, so if you go two places to the left, your 7.5 tax rate becomes 0.075, and then you multiply it with the item's cost, and it comes out to be 67.05. So you pay, your tax is $67.05. This is the tax on your $894 laptop. Now, not only you pay the price, you also pay the tax. So what is the total cost to you? It will be the sum of the two. Okay, so the total cost will be 894 plus $67, 67.5 cents. All together you will end up with $961 as your total cost. Okay, now let's look at the discounts as well. Businesses offer reduced prices, offer discounts to attract customers and to increase sales, especially on Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year. There are special discounts, sales. And now the discount rate is it's always given in a percent, and it's a percent of the original price. Okay, sometimes if they say 50% off, that means half of the price is gone. Okay, so discount amount, it will be calculated by the discount rate, which is always given in percentages, okay, times the original price. Okay, now let's look at example. Suppose again, a computer, this time you are trying to buy a desktop. A desktop with an original price of 1460 is on sale for 15% off. Okay, so again, what is the discount amount? How much you will save, okay, if you buy it now or if you buy it at a regular price, and what is the sale price of the computer. So let's first calculate the discount amount. Again, going back to the same formula, A is equal to P times B. So discount rate multiplied by the original price here. So discount is 15% times the 1460. This we must write in the decimal notation. Okay, so 15% means 0.15 in decimals. Okay, multiply these two, and your discount will be $219. So if you buy a laptop now while it's on sale, you will save $219. Okay, now the next question is, what is the computer's sale price? So this is 1460 original price. Since it's 15% off, which comes out to be 219, so subtract the two and you will have your sales price. Sales price of the computer will come out to be $1,241. Okay, so this is the sales price. Good deal. Okay, and now this is another important thing in this section, which is about percent change, percent increase, percent decrease. Okay, we often see that all the time. Okay, so it's good to look at the formula for this one. Now, if a quantity changes, its percent increase or its percent decrease can be calculated using these. There's a formula for that. Okay, it has two parts, so it can be calculated as follows. First of all, we will find a form of fraction of the percent increase or percent decrease. What do we mean by that? It's like this one here: amount of increase divided by the original amount, or if you're finding decrease, then amount of decrease divided by the original amount. Okay, after that, what you do is then you find the percent increase or decrease. So how you do that? Convert the fraction, whatever the fraction is, into a decimal. Okay, and then multiply it by 100 and put a percentage sign with it. Okay, so amount of increase divided by the original, or amount of decrease divided by the original. This will be a fraction. Use a calculator, convert this into a decimal, and then convert it into a percentage. Let's look at example here. Suppose not suppose, this is the actual fact. Okay, in 2000 the world population was approximately 6 billion persons. Okay, The data are from United Nations Family Planning Program, blah 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 blah. Okay, now they are projecting it. Okay, so they projected what will happen in 50 years from now or 150 years from now. So since it's a guess, so there are three things can happen: high projection, low projection, or medium projection. Okay, so right now in 2000 it was 5 billion, 6 billion, little bit more than 5 here. Okay, now if we follow the high projection, okay, people have nothing else to do, just reproduce. Okay, then in 2150, okay, in 2150, 150 years from now, the population will hit 30 billion. Now if we do a medium projection, okay, we do other things, than just making babies, then it will be 30 billion, 13 billion. Okay, and if we follow the low projection, then it will reduce from 6 billion to 4 billion. Okay, so they say any of the three things can happen here. Let's come to the point here. Our goal here is find the percent increase in the world population from 2000, from here, to 2150 there, using a high projection. That means we are following this blue curve there. Okay, so we have to pay attention what was in 2000, which is 6 billion. What is in 2150? It's 30 billion. Let's find how the percent increase from there to there. Okay, the second thing is we have to find the percent decrease if we follow the low projection. Okay, so we'll go do both of these things here. Let's first do the first part here using the high projection. Okay, suppose we are going from 5 to 30. Okay, percent increase will be amount of increase, the original amount. Okay, so here it is 30, here it is 6. Okay, so 30 minus 6, so its increase is 24. Original amount which to start with is 6. Okay, so it is 4 here. If you convert 4 into decimals, okay, or into percentages directly, this means if it was 1, it means 100%. If it was 2, 200%. Okay, it's 4, so it's 400% right there. So if you follow the high projection, the population increase will be 400%. Okay, now let's look at so in words, by 2150 the population is projected to increase by 400 if you follow the high projection there. Okay, now let's look at the low projection, the green curve here. Okay, so we are going from 6 billion to 30 billion this time. Okay, first we find the amount of decrease, so it goes from 6 to 4. Okay, so it will be 2 there. Okay, and the original amount is 6, so basically it's 0.333 converted into decimal, so you will percentages, you will get 33, little bit more than 33% there. Okay, so if you follow the low projection, by 2150 the population will decrease by 33.3% there. Okay, so that's how you will calculate the percent increase, percent decrease. Okay, now let's look at one few interesting slides here, how the percents can be misused. Or misuse means without using the proper knowledge, proper steps, we just make a statement. Okay, so that's what we call a misuse of percentages. Okay, or abuse of percentages, just to make our argument. Okay, so here is an example. I copied it from from your book here. Some guy looks like he was a host on PBS. Okay, John Tesh, while he was co-anchoring Entertainment Tonight. Okay, he reported that PBS series Civil War had an audience of 13%. Okay, versus the usual audience of PBS, which is 4%. So normally 4% people watch PBS, but when the Civil War was on, the show Civil War was on, it was boosted up 13%. Okay, now the way he reported it, he said that, hey, this show is a big hit, and when the show is on, there's an increase of more than 300% in the audience. Okay, now this is not correct. We will see that. The question is, did John Tash report the percentage increase correctly? Looks like not. We will do it mathematically using the percent increase and decrease formula here. Okay, so to look at this statement, if it is correct or not, let's find the actual percent increase using the formula. Formula is percent increase is amount of increase divided by the original. Okay, now it went from 4 to 13, so increase amount is 9. 13 minus 4, original was 4, so it is basically 2.25. If you write it into percents, it is 225%, not 300% as he exaggerated, so now the percent increase for the viewers and PBS was 225, not over 300%. Why he said that, I don't know. Okay, what was in his mind, but the calculated guess is, since the audience went from 4% to 13%, okay, he just did the quick math that since it's more than 3 times, it's over 3 times. 4 times 3 is 12, so since it's 13, so it's more than 3 times. So they assumed that the audience went more than 300%. Okay, so times and percents are different things here. Don't be confused. So this is one example of getting percents wrong. Another example is, it's more interesting. It's about salary increase and decrease. Suppose I'm just putting up a scenario here. Suppose you work for a company at an annual salary of $51,000. Okay, and your company announces 3% immediate raise for everybody. Okay, so they announce a raise. Now after a while, they looked at your performance and they said that hey, you don't deserve it, you don't get the raise, everybody else gets it, but you don't get the raise. So in order to undo the raise, okay, what they do is the management decides to decrease your current salary by 3%. So this is what happened. So first they increased the salary by 3%, and then they decreased it by 3%. Okay, seems fair. Okay, so they gave me 3% of my current salary, and then they took away 3% from my current salary since I didn't deserve it. Now, did something wrong happen here? Do you see anything wrong with this deal here? You will see it in the next slide. Okay, what happened here? Now let's look at it mathematical point of view, piece by piece. What happens? Okay, so increase process. Your current salary is 51,000. Okay, they said, hey, you are getting 3% increase. So you got increase of, so 3% will be 51,000 times 0.03. So you get 1530 as your raise. Okay, so what is your current salary now? 51,000 plus 1530. Okay, so it comes out to be $52,530. So this is your salary for a week. You are very happy about it. Now when they realized, hey, it was a mistake to give you a raise, we are gonna take away 3% from your current salary. Okay, now the key here is the current salary. Okay, now before we do any math, remember that your current salary now is this one here. Okay, it's already been calculated. So your current salary is 52,530. Okay, now they want to decrease it. Okay, so now 3% decrease of the current salary means your current salary they are calculated using this one multiplied by 3%, and they want to take away 1575. They gave you 1530 and they want to take away 1575. That's not fair. Okay, so after the decrease, your salary will go down 50,009.55 as sort of $50 less than what you were making before this whole increase decrease thing started. Okay, so this is another example of misuses of percentages without paying attention to them. Okay, I hope you see the misuse of percentages now. That's it. Thank you very much. Please try the homework problems. This is an interesting chapter, interesting section. Do the problems assigned. Okay, if you have any questions, let me know. I'll try to help you. Thank you. Bye bye.